Welcome to a course on stress management. Reports to send, dinner to cook, targets to meet. Our life seems to be filled with stress from the time we wake up until the time we go to bed. This e-learning lesson will equip you with the skills and, more importantly, will help you develop the mindset to manage stress. You may have gone through many stress management modules and read about stress management techniques that make lifestyle recommendations. But what you learn in this module will help you develop mental resilience and nurture a more balanced attitude towards the stressors in your life. After all, a resilient mind is a rational mind. Let's take a look at what we will be learning in today's lesson. We will talk about how changing one's attitude towards stress can increase longevity more than exercise does. We will also look at methods and perspectives that can build a resilient mind that is prepared for any life situation. We all believe that stress is evil and is the cause of all ailments. So what really is stress? Stress is a reaction that occurs when something that matters to you is at stake. It could be the anxiety over the results of an important test you took, the depression over losing a job, or even getting into a university of choice. In a study conducted in the US in 2006, it was discovered that participants who reported a high level of stress showed up to 43% higher risk of death. The interesting thing, though, is this was only true for people who believed stress was bad for them. For people who had a more positive paradigm and believed that stress was not necessarily harmful, had the lowest risk of death. Another study conducted at the Yale University showed that people who looked upon old age positively lived longer. That's a lot more than the years you earn by exercising or quitting smoking. The conclusion is clear. Your perspective matters. With a positive attitude and an optimistic belief system, and by viewing stress in a more productive manner, you could convert the same stress into the thrust that propels you to achieve your goals and lead a productive and satisfying life. Your attitude towards stress governs the choices you make in everyday life. If you view stress as negative, you will try to avoid it at all costs and will stop yourself from stepping out of your comfort zone and in the bargain lose out on opportunities. If you view stress as not harmful, you are more likely to identify coping strategies, seek help, make the best of any situation, and in fact, learn something from it. Here is some food for thought for you. We derive our sense of purpose from the different roles that we play, be it that of an employee, an employer, a father, or a wife, and the responsibilities that come with it. Is it not true that the very things that we care for and which add meaning to our life are also the greatest sources of stress? Would you be stressed by something that you do not care about? According to a 2013 study done at the Stanford and Florida State University, people who reported the maximum number of stressful events in their past were more likely to consider their lives meaningful. Also, why risk of post-retirement depression is higher by almost 40% than when you're busy and engaged. Humans tend to be happier when their life is busy and full. That's what adds meaning to life. The conclusion is clear. Stress is bad only when you think it is. With a positive mind and an optimistic outlook, the same stress can act as a thrust towards something bigger and better. In the next segment, I'm going to share with you how you can shift your paradigm to develop a positive mindset about stress and practice techniques that will bring about a change in the world inside, which in turn will constructively impact your world outside. To develop a resilient mind and making stress your friend, first thing, embrace your anxiety. Channel your stress into strength by shifting your mindset in a stressful situation. Imagine you're about to give an important presentation and your nerves kick in. Sounds familiar? Instead of telling yourself, "I'm nervous, I hope this gets over soon," tell yourself, "I'm excited. This is a great opportunity to share information with my audience." Control nervous energy by sharing a few enthusiastic handshakes and smile. What you're doing is you're actually tricking your mind into believing that the situation is under control, and in fact presents a great platform for you to shine. Research done at the Harvard Business School proved that students who used this very technique performed significantly better and came across as competent, persuasive speakers than those who tried to either suppress their emotions or succumb to it. Embrace your stress and anxiety through positive scripting. Choose positive emotions to describe how you feel. With a bit of practice, you will master the skill. Another technique that is useful for managing stress better is having more meaningful exchanges. Stress isn't just something that you have to deal with. It is also something that can help you learn to care, collaborate, and show compassion. When you communicate and share your emotions with an empathetic listener, or better still, you demonstrate empathy and compassion to a fellow human being, wonderful things happen. You create a dose of happiness, quite literally and biologically. During an empathetic and connected communication, various neurotransmitters and hormones are secreted in your body. In this case particularly, you fire up dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. All these hormones are associated with a heightened sense of caregiving, attunement, trust, and hope, while suppressing fear and depression. This enhances our perception, intuition, and self-control, and brings us clarity on the action we need to take to get the best results. So you see, you don't need a doctor to treat you for stress. You are a powerhouse of feel-good, happy hormones. Establish social connect and communication to trigger these hormones. Meaningful exchanges can be rewarding and can change stress into wisdom, confidence, and courage. See stress as empowering. Think of a time in your life where you experienced profound growth, a newfound purpose, or a significant personal growth. It is highly likely that these times followed periods that were highly stressful. This is what is paradoxical about stress. Adversity makes you learn and grow. In a study, when asked how they coped with stress, 82% of participants cited previous stressful experiences and their learnings from it as a source of strength. Staying in your comfort zone and not pushing yourself enough can do you more harm than good in the long run. In an interesting experiment done by psychologist Mark Seery, where he asked participants to dunk their hands in ice-cold water, saw that participants unfamiliar with adversity were actually the ones that struggled. On the other hand, participants who had been exposed to adversity were able to withstand the cold for much longer. The reason lies in the resilience that they had built through previous stressful experiences. Even if you are currently facing a situation that's a lot more stressful than dunking your hands in ice-cold water, remember that your attitude will shape the outcome as well as your response to similar future challenges. Research and studies have proven that people who suffer a heart attack and then reconfigure their priorities and have a greater appreciation for life are the ones that are less likely to suffer another heart attack. The reality is that seeing the upside of things makes a dramatic improvement in our coping abilities. Rather than relying on ineffective avoidance methods, people who are able to appreciate the upside are able to take proactive, positive steps to deal with their stressors. Even their bodies demonstrate a healthier physical response to stress. They have faster recovery times and a reduced risk of depression, heart attacks, and diseases. My next recommendation for you is that you replace self-pity with gratitude. People with a resilient mind understand that in spite of all the stress, life still goes on. No one is immune to hard times. Whether in the form of a health problem or a financial burden or a failed relationship, life has a habit of throwing us a curveball, sometimes when we least expect it. Your attitude and approach in these situations will largely govern the consequences. Mentally resilient people do not waste precious time in self-pity and fretting and complaining. They replace these negative emotions and actions with gratitude. And so can you. A great example is that of American long-distance runner Marla Runyan, who at the age of 9 was diagnosed with a degenerative disease that rendered her blind. But Runyan never saw this as a limitation, and in fact went on to set world records in the 1992 and 1996 Paralympics. She also gained a master's degree in education and wrote a book, all while being legally blind. Runyan did not use the disease as an excuse for a life of depression. but instead chose to be grateful for her passion and gift. The message is simple. When under stress, you can choose to operate from your circle of concern, which represents things you have no control over. Or you can choose to operate out of your circle of influence, things that you do have control over. Gratitude is a powerful emotion, and being able to see the silver lining around your dark cloud can transform your stress into your strength.